Clone Shadow Troopers were an elite group of clone troopers devised by Director Amand Assad of Republic Intelligence during the Clone Wars. Since the numbers of the Advanced Recon commanders were dwindling, Assad created the Shadow Troopers as a reconnaissance unit, who, with the benefit of greatly modified and expensive armor, could operate covertly and undercover. Using mag seals in their armor, they could attach plates to themselves that could pass them off as mercenaries belonging to certain factions. With that advantage, they could infiltrate facilities and gather intelligence with ease. During the late stages of the war, the role of the Shadow Trooper expanded, with some performing sniper duties while others would be used on the battlefield. Though their jamming systems would prevent them from working alongside standard troopers, Shadow Troopers were occasionally dispatched before large-scale invasions to install jamming devices in key cities, which would allow their comrades to infiltrate their targets with stealth and efficiency. The Shadow Troopers will later become the model on which Storm Commandos and Shadow Stormtroopers were based, but they could operate in a far more covert manner than that of the Commandos. The Shadow Troopers were given highly modified and highly expensive armor that suited their roles better than the standard fatigues. In 19 BBY, when General Grievous of the Confederacy of Independent Systems were located on Utapau, Shadow Troopers were called in to infiltrate 6 of the planet's sinkhole cities and place jammers that would allow General Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Third Systems Army to invade the planet without notice. As a result, Grievous was killed and Utapau was placed under Galactic Republic control. Shadow Trooper armor was based on Phase 2 Clone Trooper armor, although it featured several strategically placed mag seals. The mag seals allowed for the placement of cosmetic plates that could alter each individual trooper's appearance, with different plates giving them the appearance of a Hutt cartel or Black Sun mercenary or other miscellaneous factions. A jaw switch was installed in the armor in case a Shadow Trooper's identity was discovered. Activating the switch would disengage all mag seals and allow the trooper to regain full use of his Phase 2 armor. As a further modification, the Phase 2 armor was covered with a sensor-reflective material, which absorbed active scans. It was also protected from passive scans by thermal dampers and electromagnetic hardening. The visor gave off a red glow, which in conjunction with their dark appearance was considered intimidating by some. Some Shadow Troopers would wear karmas and baldrons. Omnidirectional jammers further enhanced the Shadow Troopers' invisibility. Although with such devices in operation, they usually could not operate in close proximity with standard clone troopers, whose helmet systems would suffer the effects of jamming. Instead of wielding the standard DC-15S, Shadow Troopers were equipped with the DC-19 Stealth Carbine, which featured a sound suppressor so the troopers could operate in relative silence. An optional function which allowed the blaster to fire bolts invisible to the regular visual spectrum was favoured by Shadow Trooper snipers. The invisible bolts, however, were highly expensive and had to be reloaded after 10 shots, and as a result of their usage, the DC-19S had to be cooled down afterwards to prevent damage to the weapon's dampeners. Vibro daggers rounded out the Shadow Trooper armoury. In addition to their standard kit, troopers could use DC-15A blaster rifles and blaster pistols. Clone Shadow Troopers during missions were aided in their efforts by their effectively sensor-proof suits of armor. Due to the high-tech jamming equipment built into their armor, Shadow Troopers for the most part did not operate alongside standard clones, for fear of disrupting their comrades' helmet systems. In some situations, such as the one on Utapau in the waning days of the Clone Wars, Shadow Troopers were inserted to ensure the successful entry of a much larger invasion force. During the reign of Emperor Palpatine, Shadow Troopers' roles would extend to protection, and they would be assigned to guide either installations or key personnel.